How often do you see your neighbors? Why not?
To be honest, I don't see my neighbors very often, mainly because of my hectic schedule. I work full-time and usually get home quite late, so I rarely have the chance to bump into them during the week. On weekends, though, I sometimes see them when I'm out for a walk or running errands. I would love to socialize more with them because I think having a good relationship with your neighbors can create a stronger sense of community, but at the moment, my lifestyle doesn't really allow for it.
Do you invite your neighbors to your home? Why not?
Yes, I do invite my neighbors to my home from time to time, especially for small get-togethers or celebrations. I believe that building a good relationship with the people living around you makes the community stronger and more supportive. Besides, having them over creates a warm and friendly atmosphere, which I really enjoy. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Sometimes just a cup of coffee and a good chat can go a long way in strengthening our bond.
Do you think you are a good neighbor? Why not?
I'd like to think that I am a good neighbor. I always try to be considerate, keeping noise to a minimum and respecting other people's privacy. Whenever possible, I lend a hand if someone needs help, like collecting parcels for them when they're not home. I believe that small gestures like these can really make a difference and help create a friendly and supportive neighborhood. Of course, there's always room for improvement, but overall, I genuinely care about maintaining good relationships with the people around me.
Has a neighbor ever helped you? Why not?
Yes, definitely. There was a time when I accidentally locked myself out of my apartment, and one of my neighbors was kind enough to let me wait at their place while I called a locksmith. It might seem like a small thing, but in that stressful situation, their kindness really meant a lot to me. I think moments like these show how valuable it is to have a good relationship with your neighbors. You never know when you might need a helping hand.
Describe a very difficult task that you succeeded in doing as part of your work or studies. You should say what task you did, why this task was very difficult, how you worked on this task, and explain how you felt when you had successfully completed the task.
One of the most challenging tasks I have ever completed was writing my graduation thesis during my final year at university. The task was particularly difficult because it required extensive research, critical thinking, and excellent time management skills, all of which I was still developing at the time. Initially, I felt completely overwhelmed by the scope of the project. To tackle it, I broke the thesis down into smaller, more manageable sections and set weekly goals for myself. I also sought feedback from my professors and peers regularly to make sure I was on the right track. There were countless late nights and moments of self-doubt, but I kept reminding myself of the importance of perseverance. When I finally submitted my thesis and received a high grade for it, I felt incredibly proud and relieved. It was not just a personal achievement, but also a validation of my ability to stay committed and push through difficult challenges. Looking back, that experience taught me a lot about resilience and self-discipline, which have been invaluable in both my professional and personal life.
What are the most difficult jobs that people do?
I believe that the most difficult jobs are often those that require both physical and emotional endurance, as well as a high level of responsibility. For instance, healthcare professionals such as doctors and nurses work in highly stressful environments, dealing with life or death situations on a daily basis. They need to have strong emotional resilience, as they often encounter patients who are critically ill or even dying. Another job that comes to mind is that of firefighters. Not only do they face dangerous and physically demanding tasks, but they also have to stay calm under pressure, often working in high-risk situations where every second counts. In addition, jobs in the military or law enforcement are also incredibly challenging, as they demand not only physical strength, but also mental toughness and quick decision-making. People in these fields must constantly put themselves in harm's way to protect others, which takes a great deal of courage and sacrifice. Ultimately, the most difficult jobs are those that require individuals to balance multiple pressures and maintain their focus and composure, no matter how tough the situation is.
Why do you think some people choose to do difficult jobs?
I think there are several reasons why some people choose to do difficult jobs, despite the challenges they entail. One key reason is the sense of fulfillment and purpose that these jobs often provide. For example, people in professions like healthcare, teaching, or social work may be driven by a deep desire to help others and make a positive impact on society. The reward of knowing that your work can save lives, improve someone's well-being, or contribute to the greater good can outweigh the hardships. Another reason is financial stability. Difficult jobs, especially those in high risk or specialized fields, often come with higher salaries or significant benefits. People may be motivated to take on tough roles in order to secure a better future for themselves and their families. Additionally, some people thrive on challenges and the sense of accomplishment that comes from overcoming difficult situations. These individuals might enjoy pushing themselves beyond their limits, testing their skills, and achieving personal growth. For them, the difficulty of the job is a source of motivation rather than a deterrent. Lastly, there are people who choose difficult jobs because of a strong personal connection to the work. They may feel a calling or passion for a particular field, such as firefighting, law enforcement, or scientific research, and are willing to endure the challenges because they deeply care about the work they do.
Do you agree or disagree that all jobs are difficult sometimes?
I agree to some extent that all jobs can be difficult at times, but I think the level of difficulty varies depending on the nature of the job and the individual's skills and experience. For example, jobs that require physical labor, like construction work or manual labor, can be physically exhausting, and the difficulty often increases with the demands of the task. Similarly, high-pressure jobs in fields like medicine or law enforcement can be mentally and emotionally draining, especially when individuals have to make life-altering decisions or work long hours. However, not every job is difficult all the time. Some tasks, once mastered, can become routine and easier to handle. For instance, someone who works as a graphic designer may find the process of creating designs challenging initially, but over time, with more experience, the work becomes more fluid and less stressful. So, while I do believe that all jobs have their challenging moments, I don't think that every job is consistently difficult. It often depends on the person's experience, the environment, and the circumstances surrounding the task at hand.
How important is it for everyone to have a goal in their personal life?
I believe it is extremely important for everyone to have a goal in their personal life, as goals provide direction, motivation, and a sense of purpose. Without a clear goal, people might feel lost or lack the drive to pursue meaningful achievements, which can lead to dissatisfaction and a sense of aimlessness. Having a goal allows individuals to focus their efforts and make decisions that align with their long-term aspirations. Whether it's a career-related goal, such as advancing in one's profession, or a personal development goal, like improving health or learning a new skill, having a target to work towards can help a person stay motivated and proactive. Additionally, goals often push individuals out of their comfort zones and encourage personal growth. They can act as stepping stones that help a person overcome challenges and build resilience. For example, someone who sets a goal to run a marathon will likely face numerous obstacles along the way, but these challenges help them develop perseverance, which can be beneficial in other areas of life as well. However, I do understand that not everyone thrives with rigid goals, and some people prefer a more flexible, go-with-the-flow approach. But even in those cases, having some sort of direction or vision for the future can still be helpful in creating a sense of balance and fulfillment in one's life.
Is it always necessary to work hard in order to achieve career success?
While working hard is undeniably an important factor in achieving career success, I don't believe it is always necessary to work hard in the traditional sense. Career success can be attained through a combination of factors, including working smart, building strong networks, and continuously developing one's skills. In some fields, like technology or entrepreneurship, innovation, strategic thinking, and the ability to adapt to changing trends can be just as important, if not more so, than sheer hard work. For instance, an entrepreneur who can identify a market gap and develop a unique business model might find success through creativity and business acumen, rather than spending countless hours in a traditional 9-to-5 job. On the other hand, certain professions like medicine or law may require long hours and hard work due to the nature of the job. In these fields, being dedicated and persistent is crucial, but the emphasis is often on precision, expertise, and continuous learning, not just working long hours. However, I do think it's important to recognize that career success is a personal concept. For some people, working hard may be a source of fulfillment, while for others, balancing work with personal life and pursuing passions may be more important. Ultimately, achieving career success involves aligning one's efforts with their goals and values, whether that means working hard or finding more efficient ways to achieve results.
Do you think that successful people are always happy people?
While success is often associated with happiness, I don't believe that successful people are always happy people. In fact, success in one area of life doesn't necessarily guarantee happiness in others. Many successful individuals face challenges in their personal lives, mental health, or relationships, which can affect their overall well-being. For instance, someone who has achieved great success in their career may still experience stress, loneliness, or pressure to maintain their position. This could lead to burnout or a sense of emptiness, despite their professional achievements. Additionally, the pursuit of success can sometimes lead people to neglect their personal lives or relationships, which are key components of happiness. On the other hand, happiness is a more holistic concept that includes emotional well-being, fulfilling relationships, and a sense of purpose. Some people may not be as outwardly successful in their careers, but still lead happy and content lives because they prioritize these other aspects. For example, someone who chooses to live a simpler life or works in a less demanding job may feel more fulfilled than a person who constantly chases career milestones but sacrifices their personal happiness in the process. Ultimately, while success can certainly contribute to happiness, it is not a guarantee. True happiness often comes from a balance of personal fulfillment, meaningful relationships, and emotional well-being, not just external achievements.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us in today's interview. Wishing you good health and the best of luck.
Thank you very much, sir. I also wish good health and the best of luck in life.